भोला शंकर भोला शैलेश्वर हर विश्वंभर हर शैलेश्वर हर विश्वंभर हर भोला शंकर भोला भोला शंकर भोला कृष्णं वन्दे परमानन्दं वन्देऽहं कृष्णं वन्दे परमानन्दं वन्दे कृष्णं वन्दे परमानन्दं वन्देऽहं कृष्णं वन्दे परमानन्दं वन्दे कृष्णं वन्दे परमानन्दं वन्देऽहं कृष्णं वन्दे परमानन्दं वन्दे मुरलीधरा कृष्ण तुलसीधरा मुरलीधरा कृष्ण तुलसीधरा मनमोहना आनन्द नन्दना मनमोहना आनन्द नन्दना कृष्णं वन्दे परमानन्दं वन्देऽहं कृष्णं वन्दे परमानन्दं वन्दे कृष्णं वन्दे परमानन्दं वन्देऽहं कृष्णं वन्दे परमानन्दं वन्दे कृष्णं वन्दे परमानन्दं वन्देऽहं कृष्णं वन्दे परमानन्दं वन्दे कृष्णं वन्दे परमानन्दं वन्देऽहं कृष्णं वन्दे परमानन्दं वन्दे
गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। करारविन्देन पदारविन्दम् मुखारविन्दे विनिवेश्यन्तम् वटस्य पत्रस्य कुटेशयानम् बालं मुकुन्दं मनसा स्मरामि। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। What is it to be with Krishna? Before we start listening to the Krishna Leela today, I invite all of you to rejoice in Krishna, with Krishna. You cannot talk about Krishna. You cannot hear about Krishna unless there is joy. Right now, just dropping everything and rejoicing, celebrating this beautiful moment of our lives for lifetimes to come. This moment will shine like none other. That is Krishna. There was a time when the earth was pressured with too many asuras, rakshasas. The Brahmins had to be in hiding. His atrocities were at a peak, all-time peak. And Krishna has promised, the Lord has always promised, whenever adharma becomes dominant and the dharma cannot sustain itself on this earth, I will come. I will take a form. I who am formless, I am in everything and yet I have nothing to do with the world. But I will take a form so that dharma can get established. And the sadhu purush, the saints, can be once again nurtured. They can freely worship me, follow me, and perpetuate the divine love, which is the true purpose of our existence also. We can, with hard work, get a lot of wealth, status, with our good karmas. We can have a good family, good children. All this can be very good for us. But each one of us have to face death. So the fear of death can only leave us when we can rejoice with Krishna. Krishna has said that no other way can bring you closer to me. No other way you can get disentangled from my own Maya, which is very attractive. He has created a web of very attractive ties here. The attachment is so natural, not easy. Only one way, Krishna says, and that is satsang. Before he left his mortal body, this is the message he has given to all of us. This is the message he gave to his foremost disciple, Uddhav ji. He said, I have so many ways are there to come to me. In fact, all ways lead to me only. But nothing will bring me closer to you and you to me than satsang, the company of the wise ones. It's a very rare happening to get this in the life. He gives the example of his innocent devotees. He said they were innocent. They had no means to become very learned. They had no guru to teach them to practice austerities, yoga, sadhana. They were helpless souls. But because they got satsang in their lives, that the spark of devotion came in the heart. It is through satsang that a seed of love for the divine can sprout in the heart. Through satsang only this seed is nurtured and blossomed. He said, look at the gopis, Uddhav. Just look at these innocent, ignorant gopis of a small village in Vrindavan, Brajdham. They were uneducated, homely people, family, surrounded by their families. But so naturally their minds got attracted to me. When I bless somebody, only then it happens. Like for Bhakt Prahlad, we saw. The glory of his devotion lies in the fact that when he was born, he was a devotee. Naturally, the devotion was there in his heart. But the second best thing that can happen is the satsang, the possibility of satsang. So all the best things that are possible are already there in our lives. So once again, coming back to this moment, which is so full of joy, so full of bliss. So Krishna has promised to come, Kansa's at its peak of cruelty, adharma, and he takes birth through the womb of Devaki and Vasudev. This is the 3 births for 3 lifetimes. Krishna has come to Devaki. Devaki and Vasudev in one lifetime as Prushni and Sutapa had done penance, great penance they did for thousands of years with a desire to have the Lord as their child. This desire came up in them and they did penance for a very long time. So the Lord came and said, what do you want? We want a child like you. The Lord said, only I am like me. There is no one else. So I promise I will be born through you. He came as Vaman avatar in the womb of Aditi and Kashyap, who are now Vasudev and Devaki. Prishni and Sutapa, Kashyap and Aditi, now Devaki and Vasudev. Devaki is one whose body, in the body, the Devatas reside. Purity. Vasudev is the symbol of truth, nobility. So when Krishna decided to come, first he entered the mind of Vasudeva. It's very beautiful. Vasudeva, who's so sensitive, he could catch some transformation is taking place within me at a very subtle level. He started glowing. You could not see in his eyes the brilliance because now Krishna has entered. And then Devaki conceived Krishna. Krishna is born in the prison. We know this story, Mathura. A prison which was made by Kansa. He imprisoned them. But when Krishna is born, all doors are unlocked. The story goes that Yogamaya, his associate in the whole drama, is born before him. And the moment Krishna is born, Yogamaya puts her veil of ignorance, deep sleep on all the guards who were guarding the imprisoned Devaki and Vasudeva. And what did Vasudev and Devaki do when Krishna is born? They first see him in his Chaturbhuja Roop, that same form which his devotees love. They worshipped him. They did his stuti. They said, we don't know how we are so blessed that you have come from, Devaki said, you have come from my womb. So Krishna says, but I have promised you, I will always be born through you. So both of them have done a beautiful stuti of the Lord. And then the Lord, with his Yogamaya, made them forget this and showed to them his Balaroop, the Shishu Roop. From now onwards, Krishna wants us to worship him as that small baby in the Balaroop. And Krishna blesses Devaki and Vasudeva. That very rare it is to love me as the divinity, the Parabrahma, and also have Vatsalya Bhav for me. You know, Vatsalya Bhav is the sentiment which parents only can have for their child. When Hanumanji had gone to meet Sita ji in Ashok Vatika, Sita ji was full of blessing because she got the message of Sri Ram. He gave her the ring that Sri Ram had given. So Sita ji blessed him that my Lord will love you like his child. There's a beautiful word Sita ji used, chohu. Ram ji will love you like his pampered child, not just child, pampered child. And when the Lord came as Krishna, he turned the wheel. He said, now you love me as your pampered child. So that's the miracle that happened in Vrindavan. It has never repeated itself. Never happened before in the history. That the whole place was filled with love of Krishna. Celebration of Krishna being with them. And they didn't know. Most of the people didn't know who he is. Very few people during the whole lifetime of Krishna recognized Krishna as the divinity, as the Parabrahma. Without realizing the innocence of their love, the purity of their love for Krishna, in which they forgot their family. They forgot the worldly life. The worldly life was there, but nothing could tie down these gopis and gops. They would do everything. The gopi will be kneading the floor, taking out the butter, doing every chore. But her heart was full of Krishna. Hands were doing the work only. The hands had nothing to do with the heart. Nobody was doing anything. They stopped doing. They were just being with Krishna. They got over this bondage of doership. They got over the obstacle of identifying themselves with just their body and the family. That's what binds us. The most intelligent of us are bound in this bondage. We can give up a lot of things, but it is impossible to give up the attachment for your family members, for your children. But gopis could do it. There is a very pure story. Once Brahmaji wanted to test that is this boy, this boy who's in the rearing the cows and the calves, is he the Lord? Is he the Parabrahma, Parameshwar? Let me go and test. So Krishna was playing with all his friends. At this time, Krishna was about 6 years old or something. So with all the friends, they were playing in the meadows. So Krishna goes to look for the calves. All the boys are saying, we have not taken care of them. Where have they gone? Because that was their duty. So Krishna says, I will go. All the children were waiting for Krishna while they were all eating food. So Krishna runs behind the calves. And when he comes back, he sees all his friends are gone. Their calves that they were tending to were gone. And Krishna realized, oh, Brahmaji, you will not stop testing me. You do not accept my Leela for what it is. So be it. So Krishna became all his Gopa friends, so many. And each one was exactly like that particular child. The calves, the flute, the bag that they were carrying, everything. Krishna became everything and went back in the evening time. And this whole thing lasted for one whole year because Brahmaji's one day is 1 year on our earth. So, one whole year in Vrindavan, only Krishna was getting out of all the houses, playing with all the gopas, all are Krishna. And Krishna is just doing this Leela. Nobody knows. What do the parents feel? The parents are feeling that these days we are experiencing a very special kind of love for our children. You know, we all love our children, but there are some moments, no, when the overwhelming emotion comes and overpowers us ourselves. So they were feeling that overwhelming emotion of love for the children. And one even said to this extent that, like we love Krishna more than our children, these days we are loving our children just like we love Krishna. Such was this pious land. Such was the purity of these people. So Brahmaji came back and he wanted to now bring the children back to the village. And what does he see? He sees all the children are already there. All the children whom he is hiding behind a mountain cave, in a mountain cave, are all standing and playing with Krishna. And Krishna is playing with them as if nothing has happened. And now Brahmaji cannot recognize which are the real gops, which are the gops, which is Krishna. He is so flabbergasted with all this. He bows down in front of Krishna and does his stuti that, forgive me, I just could not believe that you in this simple form, playing with all these boys, doing these naughty pranks every day, stealing butter out of the gopi homes. Are you that divinity? But today, I will never again test you, my Lord. You are beyond understanding. If Brahma could not understand Krishna, Brahmaji could not understand. could not fathom what Krishna does, what we can catch. We can only catch this pure love, this complete letting go of the whole world without even looking at it as, we say, let us offer ourselves, let us offer our whole being at the Lord's feet. They even transcended this milestone of spiritual life. They did not have to do anything. No practice. Love had overtaken everything else. There was no two left. Only Krishna was there. All their worries were only for Krishna. When Putana came, tried to kill the baby Krishna, and Krishna, of course, killed her. We know the story, and gave her a beautiful death where she merged in Krishna. Because although she had come with a very bad intention, but she had acted like a mother to him, suckled him. So when the gopis realized that, oh, something happened today, and there was danger to our the life of our dear Krishna, so they prayed for Krishna. They used to pray for Krishna, like we pray for our children. Sun should not hurt you, water should not hurt you, fire should not hurt you. You should be protected from everything. You should be protected from the evil forces. And they would come and do so many beautiful ways. They would come and offer prayers to the whole universe to look after Krishna, to protect Krishna. This is the highest level that a devotee can achieve. When you love the divine as a small child, it is so simple, to find love for the divine. The divine is our father, the divine is our mother, the divine is protecting us. Then we have a list of things that we ask the divine to keep doing for us. Hanumanji, you're all powerful. Please take away all my sankat mochan. Devi Ma, you can protect me. You protect me everywhere. All the time, keep protecting me. Heal me, Devi Ma. No. The gopis and the gopis, Nandalala and Yashodaji, who are the most blessed. Krishna is not born from Yashoda's womb, but Yashoda takes all the cream out. The butter goes to Yashoda. She's the one who's pampering Krishna, loving Krishna, doting Krishna, bathing Krishna, feeding Krishna. So when you love the divine in this Balaroop, like a mother loves, then the world does not remain. Just like for a mother, when the small child is there, the mother doesn't care for her sleep, for her comfort. It's all about the child. She keeps awake the whole night. The baby is wetting one part of the bed. She goes and lies on the wet part and keeps the baby in the dry part. She looks after the baby. She doesn't even think that she's doing something. It's happening naturally. So, who could be these gopis and gopis? Who could love Krishna like that? They were the rishis, the munis, the tapasvis who had served the Lord, who had done penance for lifetimes for Krishna. So Krishna said, when I will be born as Krishna, when I will do my Leela, this Leela is the most beautiful Leela out of all the Leelas that I have ever done. I will take you along with me so that you can also rejoice in the bliss. Krishna is bliss. He is bliss. That is why effortlessly the mind is attracted to Krishna. Because what is the mind seeking? From whatever we want in this world, through whatever we are seeking in this world, the end result, we are all looking for joy. Whether it is family, whether it is position, whether it is wealth, whatever we are seeking, behind that, we are all actually seeking only Krishna, whose bliss, whose joy, whose abundance. The gopis were not very rich. They were very simple people, eating 2 simple meals in the day, but their life was filled with abundance. There was no need for anything else. It was sufficient for them. And tell each other, today he'll come to my house with his naughty friends to steal the butter. So the gopis were also playing games with Krishna. Krishna was playing games with the gopis. Gopis would also play. They would put the vessel in which they would store the butter, the milk, and put it on the top near the ceiling with some ropes. So Krishna would come and see, okay, today you are putting it so high, you think my hands cannot reach. So he would take his friends and go and climb on their backs and go and break. With anger, with his flute, he would break the, what is it called, pot. And the whole milk would spill, the butter would spill. They would play colors with the milk and butter. They would put it on each other's mouth. They would call the monkeys and feed the whole milk and butter of that family. The poor family. The whole day's milk, butter, all gone. Put on the floor, thrown everywhere. They have cleaned the floor, and within no time, Krishna has come and made it so filthy. And they all are enjoying this whole thing. Then they would walk to Yashoda and say, why are you not giving milk and butter to Krishna? Your Lalla comes to our house every day. So Yashoda said, what are you saying? There's so much milk. He was the head, Nandalala. They were full of abundance, that family. I have everything in my house. And here he doesn't eat, he runs away. I keep running with food after him. What are you saying? Why will he come to you people? You just want to come and complain about Krishna to me every day. And Krishna would play games and somehow not get caught. One fine day, Yashoda ji knew, this is the one who's doing all the mischief in the village. He's the one who's troubling my friends every single day. So she said, you have become too naughty. I'm going to tie you down. Today you will not step out. Don't I give you butter? You're always running here and there, stealing butter. Don't even ask, you just steal it. That's what Krishna does. He's Navadip Chora. So Gurudev says, no, butter, what is butter? Butter is our fresh mind in this moment, right now in this moment. Your mind is, there's nothing, no thought. So that freshness he loves. He came to steal the minds of the people. Chitta Chora. All these stories, all this drama was just somewhere to drop our mind and the mind games. So Yashoda says, I'm going to tie you down today. So she takes her dupattas, her scarves and saris. She would tie him and suddenly there will be a gap. She's trying to tie Krishna and there'll be this much gap. She brings all the scarves she has, all the ropes, all the saris, and every time there would be this much gap. By now, Yashoda got tired, her hair got loosened, and her clothes were in a mess, and she was so tired, perspiring. So Krishna looked at her and just tied himself down. In 1 minute, he just bridged that gap. So Krishna wanted to tell his mother, you may love me, but with your own efforts, I will never come in your grasp. You cannot grasp me. Only one whom I choose will be able to grasp. Who am I? It is not possible. Such stories, simple stories from Vrindavan, even today, that whole land is pure. When we saw on the first or second day of the Bhagavatam stories I shared with you, how Bhakti Devi, when she reached Vrindavan, she came back to life. Her youth came back. Her energy came back. Krishna's love can bring life back into us. Nothing else helps. You can eat healthy food, you can go for yoga, you can do this, that. Beyond a point, the body will keep binding us down, bringing us down. But the gopis, it's very interesting. Some gopi was 6-year-old, some gopi was 80-year-old also. It's not that only young girls were gopis. We think only the young girls were gopis around Krishna. No, 85-year-old, 80-year-old woman. She's also become young at heart. She is also wanting to play and dance with Krishna. She forgets her body and the limitations of her body. So there is this beautiful part of the 10th chapter. All the stories of Krishna are there in the 10th chapter. They say it is the heart of the Bhagavatam, the Dasham Skand of Bhagavatam. So there is a very beautiful 5 aspects of Rasa Leela. It is called the Ras Panchadhyayi. How the gopis ultimately did the Maharas with the Lord. Maharas is the culmination of devotion. It is that and worship the Katyayani Devi. Now, when we worship the Devi, we have always something, no? Devi, I will do 1 month of fasting and a little some sankalpa, some desire. So the gopis also had a sankalpa. They said, we want Krishna as our husband. We want to marry Krishna. Some gopis had kept this month-long fast. So Krishna came to know. And on the last day of their fast, they come to bathe in the Yamuna. And they are all not wearing their clothes. Early morning time, nobody comes. So they are bathing in the Yamuna Ji and singing Krishna's songs. Krishna comes there and collects all the clothes and tells them, you don't know, you are insulting the Lord of the Yamuna. The Devatas are not happy. You cannot bathe in this river without the clothes. So you have committed a sin. Now all of you have to atone for that sin. So the gopi said, what are we supposed to do? You're all supposed to come out of the river, come out of the water, come and bow down to me. Each one of you come and I will give you your clothes back. They are begging Krishna, Krishna, give us our clothes back. We cannot show ourselves to you like this. But Krishna will not listen. It's a most symbolic story of the 10th chapter, where through the love of Krishna, the gopis are able to get out of that water, walk without any clothes in front of Krishna. And Krishna says, now bow down to me. Whatever Krishna asks them to do, they just do it for Krishna. So Krishna is very happy with them. That the last barrier of feeling that you are this body, I'm a female, I have this body, that barrier also. Clothes are what? Clothes are nothing but the body. All the saints say, no, what is this body? It is just a pillow cover. We are not the body. So what he is asking the gopis to give him is the love for the body, this identification with their body. So that is why he said, give me your clothes. Come and bow down to me. After that, Krishna has given back the clothes to the gopis. Now, this body has become God's body. First, he takes it back, then he gives it back to them like a prasad. Just like what we do when we go to a temple. We take a big box of sweets, we give it to the Panditji, please offer to the deity. He offers a little to the deity, gives back the box to us. We are very happy. First, it was a box of sweets bought from the sweet shop. Suddenly, now it has become prasad. For the gopis now, when they got the clothes back from Krishna, their lives became prasad for, given by Krishna. And Krishna was touched by their surrender to him. He promised them, I will do whatever you have in your hearts, whatever you are desiring. I will come close to you. I will call you. So, what did Krishna do? He played on the flute, invited and attracted all the gopis. The gopis ran when they heard Krishna's flute. Krishna was hiding somewhere in the almost near the forest outside the place, Vrindavan, and playing the flute. The gopis came running there. And he said, it's night time. Why are you here, all of you? Who has asked you to come? And they all don't know what to say. They said, you are so clever and you are so cruel. First, you attract us with your flute. We have left everything. A gopi who's suckling the child has left the child also. Cooking the food has left the food unlooked, unwatched, and run to Krishna like this. So Krishna says, okay, you have come, you have seen me, job is done, go back. So he wanted to make them completely surrender to his, whatever he wants, that should happen. So there is a very nice conversation between the gopis and Krishna. Gopis say, you ask us to go back. He said, yes, that is your dharma, your responsibility. You cannot leave your family. You have to do all your worldly responsibilities. But the gopi said, those are for people who have not fallen in love with you, who are not living every moment of life like we live for you. For us, there is no one. For us, everything is you, Krishna. And in everything, you are only there. So how you say we don't have to come to you, but we have to be there, wherever we want to be. It's only with you. So Krishna said, I understand your love. I understand your longing. I promise you, I will call you on another night and we'll all celebrate. So the Maharas night comes, in which the gopis again run to Krishna when Krishna played the flute. And Krishna danced with all the devotees. all the gopis. And the gopis started feeling someone special. This is a, they have dropped their identity with the body, they have dropped their attachment to their families, but the ego comes up. So gopis are feeling, we are very lucky. Like we are saying, no, we are very lucky. We have satsang in our lives, we have Guruji in our lives. We tell ourselves so many times. So the gopis are saying, we are special. See, so many people are still sitting in their homes, but he has called us here and he wants to dance with us. He is inviting us. He misses us. He can't be without us. So Krishna said, okay, these girls are getting too big in the mind. Mind is getting again swollen. So he, while dancing and playing with all the gopis, suddenly there is no Krishna. Suddenly he disappears. Now the gopis had tasted what it is to abandon everything and rejoice in Krishna's presence and dance with Krishna. So their longing and anguish was unbearable. Unbearable. They are looking for Krishna everywhere. They ask the trees, the shrubs, have you seen Krishna? They ask the waters, they ask everybody, Tulsi ji, the pots of Tulsi. You understand our pain. Please tell where he is. And they are all crying for Krishna. They have realized now, we became too haughty. We became too arrogant. Who can be with Krishna if there is still arrogance in the mind? Krishna wants us totally to himself. He's a very greedy master. He's a thief. He wants to steal everything away from us. So the gopis have realized this. So what did they do? They just started talking about Krishna stories to each other. They started singing Krishna Leela to each other. Somebody became Kalyanag, and somebody became Krishna. All the Leelas so far Krishna had done in Vrindavan, they started repeating like a drama. And then there is a very beautiful Gopi Geet. It is the song of longing, knowledge, ultimate devotion is what that song represents. It's a beautiful song. If you once hear it, it resonates in you. Jayati Tedhikam Janmana Vrajaha Shrayat Indira Shashwadatrahi. It goes like this. The gopis are saying, since you have taken birth in Vrindavan, you have come here. Now this place has become more precious than Vaikuntha Dham. Earlier, there was glory of the Vaikuntha Dham. Everybody wanted to go to the Vaikuntha Dham. But after your coming here, Vaikuntha Dham, Lakshmi ji has left and come here only. Everybody wants to come here. You have made this place so important. And you have killed us with your eyes, with your looks. You are our murderer. They're telling him with anger. And now you just forsake us. At this time of the night, you just run away from us. How can you do this, Krishna? Only you can be so cruel. And we can't understand you, they are saying. You have saved us from Kalyana. You have saved us from the wrath of Indra when he took the Govardhan. You have helped us. You have helped us from fire, water, air, everything. You have protected us all the time. You have done all this to keep us protected. But today, right now, you leave us women abandoned in this jungle. And when you go to the jungle with your calves and cows, We are always worrying about you, that your feet are so tender, your souls are so tender, and you are walking on the path which is full of pebbles and thorns, maybe. In the daytime, when you walk, we can't bear that pain. And now, in the middle of the night, you are walking into the jungles to run away from us. Please come back. Please come back. We can't bear that you are going to experience so much discomfort and pain in the jungle. So now, from arrogance to repentance to longing, there is a complete identity with the Krishna's feet. That Krishna's feet will get hurt. And that is the most unbearable to the gopis. When they have reached this stage of bhava towards Krishna, Krishna comes and starts laughing. I was here only. Let's play, let's dance, come on. They bathe in the Yamuna, they dance together. That whole night became eternal for every gopi. Till date, the glory of this night, the bliss of that night is available to all Krishna devotees. You close your eyes and think of the Maharas and nothing else. All the punya and the pap, all the karmas that the gopis had of past lifetimes were washed in this moment of bliss which Krishna shared with them. Krishna showered them with the ultimate blessing of bliss. So Maharas is the journey of all devotees, the culmination of devotion. It is the moksha for a devotee to dissolve in Krishna's real presence. Krishna is nothing but bliss, Anand. Anand is Krishna. Krishna is joy. Maybe we should have a bhajan, Krishna bhajan. We should all sing together. We can put ourselves on mute and sing along.
स्मित स्मित सुंदर मुखार वृंदा नाचो नंद लाला ओ नंद लाला नाचो नंद लाला ओ नंद लाला नाचो नंद लाला मीरा के प्रभु लाला ओ नंद लाला मीरा के प्रभु लाला मीरा के प्रभु लाला ओ नंद लाला के प्रभु लाला, ओ नंद लाला, मीरा के प्रभु लाला। हरि 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 नारायण, गोविंद नारायण, गोपाल नारायण, हरि 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 नारायण, गोविंद नारायण, गोपाल नारायण, गोविंद नारायण, गोपाल नारायण, गोविंद नारायण, गोपाल नारायण, गोपाल नारायण, हरि 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 नारायण, गोविंद नारायण, गोपाल नारायण, गोविंद नारायण।
So Krishna, who was himself born in the prison, came to imprison our minds. They need to be put in a prison. And when he talked about the Bhagavad Dharma also, he said, this worldly mind of yours, just put it in a prison. Close it, shut it down. Not one worldly thought should come out of the mind. Mind should not be allowed to go out into the world. All our actions, whatever we do, whatever we think, should be aligned to this. Whatever we seek, if that doesn't help us to be with Krishna, drop it. All the pleasures of the sense organs are so poor in comparison to one moment spent in devotion. That's what Radha is. Radha is when the mind is going within. Mind has stopped going out. That's why Krishna, only Radha can find. Only Radha can get Krishna. It's the inward journey of our minds. So while leaving, the last message of Krishna to Uddhav ji and to all of us is just this. I will not be found in temples necessarily. No need. I am in the hearts of my devotees who sing for me, who remember me all the time. The quality of life is our responsibility. What kind of life we will live from this moment onwards. We can take charge of our lives. We can hold the reins in our own hands. And he said something very beautiful to Uddhavji. I have made all kinds of living and non-living beings. They are all coming out of me. But out of all the creatures, the human body is my favorite because I have given this power to the human beings that they can seek me within their own selves. One who finds this journey in his life, I will look after all his actions, all his inactions. I take care of such a one. And each one of us is capable of finding this self, Krishna sitting within us. That capability he has blessed us with. Just asking yourself, what is the purpose of life? He tells Uddhavji in Uddhav Gita. By just being with this question, one is able to get detached from that which is temporary, that which is not eternal, that which is not the purpose of the life. Just being with this question and being in satsang, making a commitment. Don't read books which make the mind very outgoing. Mind has to be imprisoned. Just this one mantra, whatever helps us to remain within, that is to be sought, practiced, loved, cherished. And Krishna says, so many avatars I have taken. If somebody just listens to my stories, you will be able to imprison this mind which runs into the worldly realm. It is so difficult to catch this mind. That is why I come and do Leela. That is why the gopis came, to give us this highest learning. Life is temporary. At the end of the day, this life is not going to be. When we were not born, we were not here. When we will leave the body, this small existence with which we are so attached right now, it has, like Guruji said, just like a bubble. You can't even call it one wave. It's just a bubble in the whole ocean. So dissolve that bubble before it dissolves. Dissolve your life into Krishna before the mortal remains. Go. I feel that it's a very beautiful note on which we can all conclude these sessions. And let's also remember Parikshit ji, who's sitting on the banks of the Ganges, listening to such divine stories from Shukadev ji. And something very miraculous happens when Takshak comes to bite Parikshit ji. His mortals have already left. He has merged into the universal consciousness. The Takshak could not do anything to Parikshit. From dust to dust, there is nothing else. So I hope we all enjoyed these morning, at least in India, our mornings with everyone. And really thanks to each one of you who have come and given so much energy to me. Just looking at all your faces, I used to get waves of energy every day. And Vikas, I have no words to express my thanks for. He mesmerized us with his devotional singing. He is blessed. All of us are so blessed. Manjula ji, thank you so much for so much love that you showered. And my team, who invisibly has managed the whole show so that we could all sit, and not even once have they shown their faces also. Ashima, Namita, Pushpa, they are all so lovely. And I feel very fortunate that, Gurudev has brought all of us together for the last at least, I think, 18 or 20 years now. This group around has been so supportive. Rituji, I see smiling there, giving so much love every time. Lovely Neha ji, thank you so much, so much, so much. No words are left now. I have given everything. Silence. Anybody wants to share or say something? Now we see Ashima coming finally. Ashima.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be part of your team, part of you.
Manjula ji.
Yes, so I was on mute, so that's why I could not answer. It was every moment was a joy sitting in the sessions with you, Mamta ji. I mean, I have heard it before, but you really through your stories, you have taken us to to Mathura and Vrindavan. Really, there were moments when I almost felt that I was there. It was so full of devotion and so much of beauty in everything that you were saying. It was, your words had the feelings with it as well. I'm so very thankful for you for having made it possible for us also to hear it all. Thank you so much.